Shalom and welcome back, everyone. In 1967, June of 1967, um, the Arab armies in the Middle East declared war on Israel, and thus started the Six-Day War. And it proved to be a miraculous event for Israel. Against overwhelming odds, Israel beat back all of the Arab nations, Arab armies, and eventually conquered the entire city of Jerusalem, the West Bank, and Gaza, and parts of the north. It was an amazing event. For the first time ever, Jewish people were allowed free access to the holy sites of Jerusalem, including the Wailing Wall, the Kotel HaMaravi, and so many other spots in ancient Jerusalem. And it ushered into Jewish life a period of freedom and a period of security in many respects because of the land that was returned back to the Jewish people from ancient times. And immediately during this time, the Lubavitcher Rebbe came out with a campaign saying that the Jewish people need an extra protection. They need something that will put fear into their enemies and put strength into themselves. And he came up with the mitzvah of tefillin. Tefillin was a very ancient, very traditional mitzvah, which Jewish people have been doing ever since the Torah was given at Mount Sinai. And they started a campaign to encourage Jewish boys and men over the age of 13 to put on tefillin every single day, except for Shabbos and holidays. And to this day, the tefillin campaign remains one of the major landmarks of Jewish life for Chabad and encouraging people to put on tefillin all over the world. We have a booth at the Wailing Wall at the Kotel to this day where thousands upon thousands of people are encouraged each week to put on tefillin, visitors and others who come to the Kotel and who are encouraged to pray there with tefillin on. And many, many people have been encouraged to put on tefillin, have started putting on tefillin because of the Rebbe's tefillin campaign. What's the basis of it? The basis of it is in this week's Torah portion, among other places, where it says, "Ukshartem la'os al yadecha v'hayu l'totafos b'neinecha." You shall tie them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be reminders between your eyes. And here, our ancient tradition says it refers to the mitzvah of tefillin. Black square boxes connected with black straps, which we affix to our arm, next to our heart, and onto our head. And what is the idea of tefillin? As the Rebbe mentioned, brought down from the Talmud, when the nations of the world will see that the Jewish people have tefillin on them, it'll cause fear in our enemies. It'll put fear into our enemies so that we will be able to succeed over them when they attack us. And indeed, this has happened throughout the years. In fact, tefillin is a very important mitzvah for all of us. We put the tefillin next to our heart, and then we put another box on our head, and we tie straps to our arm. And this represents the unity of our emotions, which is the heart, our intellect, which is the brain, together with our action, which is the arm. That when a person has these three aspects together, they are a whole person. Not just that a person is motivated by their brain, by their intellect. That's not good enough. A person must feel Judaism. A person must have the emotional attachment to Judaism. But it's not good enough that a person simply feels good or a person intellectualizes and thinks good, but a person actually must do. As we say, ma'aseh hu ha'ikar, action is the most important thing. The performance of the mitzvah itself, mitzvahs maisios, positive mitzvahs which are action motivated, is really what it's all about. It's not good enough that we just feel Jewish. It's not good enough that we just intellectualize about Judaism and we learn it and study it, but we actually need to do it. And the performance of the mitzvahs themselves is really what Judaism is really essentially all about. So I'd like to encourage everyone, if you haven't already started putting on tefillin, to do so. You can go to your local Chabad center and be instructed on how to get them, how to acquire tefillin, and how to put them on. It's important that you purchase tefillin from a reputable dealer who is reputable and who's going to sell you kosher tefillin. It's very important that it be made properly by a pious scribe who makes them. And your local Chabad center can help you do that and can help you put them on and help you put them on. So I want to wish you all a good Shabbos. Candle lighting in San Diego is at 7:19. I want to wish you all a good Shabbos and a happy Tu B'Av.